where is God's plan to fix this world? This week we've been thinking about the world's biggest problem, sin. And yesterday we thought about our inability to contribute to the solution to that problem until our own sin inside of us is dealt with. You can find both previous talks on our YouTube channel as well. Do check them out. Our inability to solve the problem of sin leaves us seeking a solution outside of ourselves. I wonder, what do you think is the right tool to fix the world's problems? Perhaps economic progress would solve everything, or education or medical developments. Well, for any job, you need the right tool. Otherwise, an attempted solution can actually be worse than the problem itself. For an educational problem, teaching is the right solution. For the current pandemic, an increased focus on medical development is the right solution. For economic progress, an increase of financial investment is the right solution. But the pandemic of sin in this world is a spiritual and a personable problem. So the solution must be spiritual and personal. God's solution is different to human attempts at problem solving. You see, uniquely, Christianity offers a person as the solution to the world's problems. At the heart of the Christian message is that God himself walked on the pages of human history as a man, recorded and seen by many. He lived a perfect, sinless life, healing and doing miraculous signs, showing who he was and what his plan would end in, the fixing of our broken world. And if you've never read an account of Jesus' life, why not spend some time reading one of Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John? If you have a friend who's a Christian, I'm sure they'd love to hear what you think about it. But that isn't all Jesus came to do. Some might view Jesus as simply a wise teacher or a great moral example, and certainly he is both of those things. But not only that. In a sports match, if a player goes down injured, the right solution is someone to step up in their place. They need a substitute. And we've been thinking about over the last 2 days about how our inner selfishness, our sin, means we're spiritually out of action, injured, out for the count. We can't be the solution to the world's problems. We need to go off the field. So Jesus isn't just a teacher or an example. He came as a substitute for those who will place their trust in him. And the heart of God's solution, of Jesus's substitution at the plan of salvation, is Jesus's death. Peter, an eyewitness to Jesus' life, death and resurrection, says this: "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit." 2,000 years ago on a cross, God himself died as a human, taking the punishment our sins deserved. More than that, Jesus then rose from the dead, witnessed by hundreds at different points over the next few weeks, giving a foretaste of the eternal life on offer. Sin brings death, but God's solution brings eternal life. And what about our lives now? Did you catch what Peter says Jesus' death for us can lead to? If we accept Jesus' sacrifice in our place, if we realise our need and recognise the importance of God's rescue plan, we are brought to God. And a question I'm left to ask you is, have you accepted that substitute? Have you taken up that free offer? Seeing your sin and God's solution, why not ask God to help you accept Jesus' death in your place? If you do that, the broken relationship is mended, leading to new life now. In the same way that Jesus died and then rose again, our old lives, lived ultimately for self, die, and we're raised to new life here and now. If we take up this free offer, we are no longer those who live in God's world whilst ignoring Him, but instead we live as His loved children, waiting to be reunited with Him for eternity. But this begs the question, if God's solution to sin happened 2,000 years ago, why is the world still broken? Why doesn't God just completely fix every problem, every instance of suffering now? Well, that is a question we're going to be thinking more about tomorrow.